Arcade Heroes.
Greetings, it's Adam from ArcadeHeroes.com, and it's time to wrap up my IAAPA Expo 2022 coverage with some other assorted things, which a lot of these will not work for arcades, but they will work for out-of-home entertainment venues like FECs or theme parks. Particularly, I'll start with some animatronics, which would definitely fit for theme parks. And this company that had a very well-articulated Baby Yoda setup. I think this was the most articulated animatronic I saw at the show. I don't know if that actually came from the Mandalorian production or not, but a lot of companies will bring animatronics to the show to promote to theme parks, because you will see people with badges from like Walt Disney parks or Universal Studios or Six Flags theme parks or other theme parks all around the country, and they come to IAAPA to see what new rides they can add. And so like Sally Dark Rides, they specialize in creating those indoor, they call them dark rides. They're basically a flat level train or coaster, if you want to call it that. I don't think coaster is the right word, but sometimes they're interactive, sometimes they're not, and so they can add an animatronic there to entertain guests while they're in line. And so that's why you see so many animatronics at shows like that, just because it will appeal to theme parks and them finding ways to maybe entertain guests. Now, of course, not all animatronics are quite as well articulated as the stuff we've seen up to this point, like that mantis or cricket, or these dancing raccoons, which look more like those little gag gifts that you get for Christmas, like the singing fish on the wall or something like that. So just oversized versions of that, I guess. But of course, different things for different budgets, and you get what you pay for in a lot of those instances. Or if you don't have the money, you get a pseudo hologram with those spinning LEDs. Or if you have a bar, this company was making lots of stuff for bars called Bar Chefs, and they had all these animated LED things, which was pretty cool to see in person. And they had some like shuffleboard table and a Connect 4 thing. They weren't coin operated, just something for a bar to set up. And also at every IAAPA, you've seen simulators that will have like multiple screens, and the simulation is very well articulated. It's very realistic, but a lot of these simulator systems can cost $50, $60, $70, $80,000, and so they're not necessarily, again, for arcades, but they might work for some family entertainment centers or FECs, like Andretti's. I've seen them with some setups that knew each one of those were like $60,000 each, and they had 4 of them or something like that. And so this is something right here that would probably work for Andretti's as well. And staff from Andretti's they always are at IAAPA, and there's an Andretti's pretty close to the Orange County Convention Center, or any other FEC that might have like a go-kart track or wants to offer something a little more interesting for their guests to play. Or there's this has been around for a long time, and the Max Flight, this I think the technology has been used in actual military or Air Force training, and this guy designed the systems that the U.S. Air Force used to train pilots in simulators before they would go up in an actual jet. And so these have been around at various places. I've seen museums that have these. Like if you search on YouTube, you can find videos of museums or family entertainment centers or other places that would have a Max Flight simulator. And so very, very cool. I want to say the price was somewhere in the $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 range. I'm not sure. I didn't get a quote. Just filmed it a little bit, but it's always a popular one. And sometimes they've had larger ones. Sometimes they've had these smaller type ones. But moving on from simulators, here's iWall Arcade, and this is basically like a Kinect, commercialized Kinect device. So this might work for an arcade that has the budget, or a family entertainment center that wants to add something a little different. And as you can see, it's just like the Microsoft Kinect, where you stand in that spot and move your body around to control something in the game. In the background there, you can see they have some other extra gaming things, like a treadmill game or a cycling game. I just couldn't see anybody using those when I passed by, so I didn't film them. Here's an interesting one that also been good for state fairs, theme parks, FECs, called Jelly Ball. And you would load the gun with one of these softballs and fire it at the screen. And funnily enough, I saw this at two completely different places in the show, on opposite ends of the trade show floor. That they had a setup that was almost like laser tag, where you wander around a maze that shoot stuff. Also known as Bazooka Ball, or that might be the company that does this, and they just had this particular jelly ball product, as they call it. And that's kind of interesting and a little bit different. It's not like throwing metal axes at anything. The game box, this was a very impressive setup. It's kind of hard to tell the scale here, but the thing is huge. Just this giant LED wall. But what it's set up for is to do essentially a game show, and you can handle multiple people, where you would have the attendant asking questions and doing game show-like things of the people, and like guess the head as it spins around. First person to guess the head would win. But it's called the Game of 1,000 Boxes, or Game Box, something along those lines. I should have looked it up beforehand, but yeah, it has a bunch of different games, game TV show style games, that this would definitely be a thing for theme parks, and maybe the occasional FEC out there, but it's just a massive ball. Here's Valo Arena, which is a mixed reality or augmented reality sort of thing, where you have people in an arena and it has sensors. People can join any time. It has multiple games, but this particular one is kind of like something from Indiana Jones 3, where you have to step on the right stone or something to not fall down. And as it goes along, it eliminates players. Last player standing wins. But again, they have multiple games. I think this company won the Brass Ring Award, which is one of the big awards that they hand out at IAAPA. But a lot of companies win different brass rings. And then last but not least, you have this one. I didn't film it because it was just a setup of He-Man and Skeletor laser tag. And I do find that cool. I've been saying for a little while that laser tag really needs to up their game. It's really been a stale industry for a long time because it just keeps doing the same thing. But this one, it would be a themed laser tag, which I think has been done before, but I don't know if they've ever done a themed laser tag with a license like this. And so one team would be Skeletor and his minions, the other team would be He-Man and his allies. And so kind of cool, and that was coming next year. But overall, that was IAAPA 2022. I will do one more video on the virtual reality. Didn't want to include that in this one, but I might have a couple of other things from stuff I've already filmed, like another level from Dead Heat Unleashed. But again, thank you for watching all my IAAPA 2022 coverage, and I'll catch you on the next video, plus the next trade show.